You gotta be flipping my flapjacks. Not sure if you guys have seen lately, but Tesla is going on quite a run, needless to say. And today it's up another 3% plus. In this video, I want to go through all the different reasons on why Tesla stock is going up so much right now. Because this stock is in absolute beast mode. Let's be quite clear about this. If you go back to May 19th, 2021, the stock was trading at about $563. Here today, trading at $870. Throughout the summer and here into the early fall time, it has just been an absolute growth animal in terms of the actual stock price, right? We know the company has been a growth beast for over a decade now, but in terms of stock price, my gosh, has this been quite a move. Look at this, just in the past 30 days, okay? In the past 1 month, this stock has gone up $140 a share. That's well over $100 billion of market cap added in less than 30 days. And so the question is, why the heck is this going on? And I want to answer that here today in this video, okay? And there's a multitude of reasons. I'll take the gains. Give me whatever you got, Tesla, okay? I'll gladly take it. So today, over $20,000 just in a change today. Obviously, the gains, have been immense. And remember, this used to be a stock I'd talk about in 2018, 2019 when I was super bullish on this company. I used to talk about it all the time. Used to get crazy amounts of hate and how Tesla was going to zero and how Tesla was a Ponzi scheme and how the company, had all this competition and they were never going to win. And, it was just a joke of a stock. And, it makes me very happy to see this gains. This happens to me nowadays. There's certain stocks that I'm buying into right now that are being, basically crowned as just kind of clown stocks that they're never going to do anything. They're downtrending, blah, blah, blah. The same exact thing will happen with those stocks as well. Maybe not quite this gains, okay? But they'll become beasts over the coming years. Those haters will move on and go to something else. And those stocks will prosper and I'll make a fortune on those. And obviously people will get to see firsthand, just as they did with this stock, Facebook, Skyworks Solutions, Cirrus Logic, and all the others that were 2018, 2019 buys and have performed amazing. Revolve, Upwork, The Planet, Dropbox, Walgreens, and countless others. They'll see, just as with this one, okay? Now, something that does worry me real quick here about Tesla is the analysts. Look at this, very bullish, 9.4. This is straight out of Fidelity Investments. Analyst Opinion, extremely bullish. I get a little scared about that. I felt much more comfortable when I was buying into Tesla, and this was a 2018, 2019 play, right? Because at that time, all analysts were bearish for the most part, right? And the hate around Tesla stock and, how everybody just kind of threw it to the side, it was immense. And at that time, I looked at the business model and I loved everything I saw. I loved, obviously, Elon Musk leading the company. I loved the product, the vision, everything. And analysts were so bearish on the stock. It was every day, it sounded like there was a new analyst coming out with some ridiculously low price target. It was such an easy stock to hate on, right? And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, has the tide really turned in a massive way? And it's the type of stuff that almost actually scares me a little bit because now they're so dang bullish. Because at the end of the day, whenever analysts, is a good little tidbit here, whenever analysts get way too over bullish or bearish on a stock, start questioning if you should sell or buy that stock, okay? And I've been around this game for a while, man. I don't want to say you sell the stock because it's, this is happening, but it does worry me a little bit. Let's just put it that way, okay? Now, in terms of why the stock's going up, it's going up for a multitude of reasons. This first one, big short investor Michael Burry says he's no longer short Tesla stock. This came out in the past 48 hours or so. Michael Burry, who got famous, by the way, if you didn't know, from basically the housing crisis. There was a whole movie made about him and the whole housing crisis situation, right? Michael Burry is no longer short Tesla via puts, he told CNBC on Friday. Burry's Scion Asset Management first revealed its Tesla option stake in a May 13F filing. At the end of the second quarter, Scion had held about 1 million puts on Tesla stock worth over $700 million. Michael Burry's Scion Asset Management is no longer short Tesla. They told CNBC. Burry told CNBC via email that the media had overblown the Tesla short bet, that it was out of proportion, and that it was just a quote-unquote trade. He says, quote, "No, it was a trade," Burry told CNBC when asked about it. He says the option bets were extremely asymmetric and the media was off by orders of magnitude. So at the end of the day, regardless of, if Burry was just treating this as a trade or a long-term kind of play to try to maybe get into a big short position, like regardless of whatever it is, at the end of the day, Michael Burry is insanely famous in the stock market. And when Michael Burry comes out and buys put options on something or short sells something, right? And especially when you talk about more than $700 million, when something like that happens, people are going to pay attention. People want to know what happens, right? Like, why are you making this negative bet on this company? You must see something here that's going to go down in a major way. And so that's what people end up seeing. And then they go ahead and see you take off that bet. And guess what happens? People say, oh, they aren't short that stock anymore, or they're not buying put options, which is seen as a bet against the stock. So therefore, they feel like the stock's about to go on a beast run, or they're scared, or something's wrong there, right? And so at the end of the day, the way people are viewing this, Wall Street's viewing this, is, hey, Tesla might be more in the clear than a lot of folks thought. They scared away Michael Burry from this? That's interesting, right? Now, I'm not sure if Michael Burry made a bunch of money on this or didn't make a bunch of money on this. All we know is, as I showed you, since May, this stock has been on a heck of a run. And Burry's out. Burry might be, scared of the stock. Does he think it's a bubble? He didn't touch on that as far as Tesla stock. But what we do know is he wants no part of betting against this company now, and that's quite interesting, right? Second reason why Tesla stock is being a beast right now is Bitcoin is being a beast, okay? So I'm not sure if you guys have been tracking it, but Bitcoin is now over 62,000. Now, keep in mind, Tesla owns well over 40,000 Bitcoin. And so a lot of investors look at Tesla and they say, well, if Bitcoin's going to beast over time, then that just adds more and more value to Tesla stock. Now, obviously, the stock has added an immense amount of value, right? Well over $100 billion of market cap has been added to the stock just in the past 30 days. As far as its Bitcoin position, that might be up, $1 billion or so in that time period. So obviously this isn't the full reason, but at the end of the day, Tesla has many reasons for people to be bullish on it. And one of them is, at the end of the day, people say this company owns over 43,000 Bitcoin. And some folks feel like Bitcoin's going to be $1 million someday. Let's never forget that. There's a lot of people, a lot of individuals out there that think Bitcoin's going to be valued at over $1 million per Bitcoin someday. That could be completely wrong. That could be completely right. But the thing you can't take away is the fact that a lot of people think that, okay? And so if a lot of people think that, they're looking at Tesla's Bitcoin position, and if they own over 43,000 Bitcoin, they're doing the math on that and what that could do for Tesla's balance sheet over time. And what if Tesla went ahead and sold that down the road, and they then went ahead and used that to, grow the business more? So, that's another reason why this stock is up big here, okay? Next reason this stock is up big, Tesla bull Dan Ives expects across-the-board Q3 earnings beat following record deliveries. If you didn't know, Tesla's about to report earnings very soon here. Tesla bull and Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives expects the electric automaker to deliver, quote, an across-the-board earnings call beat on Wednesday after reporting record deliveries earlier this month. Tesla reported in early October that it delivered 241,300 vehicles in Q3, a record for the company. Deliveries mostly consisted of Tesla's mass market Model 3 and Model Y vehicles. However, following initial deliveries of the Model X refresh, which began last weekend, Tesla now has its full vehicle lineup once again. The return of Tesla's flagship SUV to the lineup bodes well for Tesla's future production capacity and delivery figures. Ives believes that the pace of Tesla's growth, which is supported by quarter-over-quarter delivery records and the expansion of sales in China, primes the company to report another earnings beat in every important metric on Wednesday. Now, keep in mind the S and the X, with those getting more online, right, as far as their production goes, those should be better margin vehicles for Tesla overall. The margin should increase, let's just put it that way. And so that's seen as kind of a good thing. Now, Dan Ives expects the company to beat across the board here. So basically, another reason Tesla stock is going up immensely is because folks are looking at this and they're saying Tesla's about to report earnings, so stock's going to beast and it's going to head up to $1,000 a share. And if Tesla heads up to $1,000 a share, that means the company hits around a $1 trillion market cap. Now, keep in mind, with this market cap growing and growing and growing, right, bigger and bigger, if Tesla ever wants to raise capital, right, dilute shareholder value, they have to do it in such a small way, if they would even consider doing that, right? And they could raise crazy money. Like back in the day, if Tesla did a dilution of, and let's say the company wanted to raise $2 billion or $4 billion, that was a massive number for the company, right? Nowadays, when it comes to Tesla, if this company wants to raise $2 billion, $5 billion, heck, even $10 billion, even $15 billion, especially if this market cap increases to $1 trillion, that's nothing for Tesla. The dilution is so small, it's not even funny. And so the investor appetite, not just from the retail crowd, but from big investors and institutions, is immense. And when you talk about potentially beats across the board with Tesla here, you know, obviously, Wall Street's going to look at that and they're going to say this is a short-term, huge, bullish story, okay? Now, in my opinion on Tesla stock, I think Tesla's going to report ridiculous earnings for the next several years. I think you're going to see a ton of quarters in which Tesla beats and beats and beats earnings, right? I mean, the numbers are extraordinary. Now, on the flip side, something I do worry about in regards to this stock is the fact that, one, the valuation's gotten pushed, right? And especially if it gets pushed after this earnings up to, let's say, $900 billion or $1 trillion, well, you know, you're starting to push the valuation so much that the company's risk reward starts looking a little scarier, right? As far as like let's say Tesla was valued at $10 trillion today for whatever reason, right? Let's say that's where the valuation was. The risk reward would be so ridiculously out of favor from the reward standpoint. There would be like no reward potential there and the risk would be immense, right? And so just something to keep in mind, and this goes for all stocks, as a market cap increases, a valuation increases, the risk reward starts getting skewed. And obviously the reward potential is not as much and the risk is a lot more, especially if you're in a high growth stock like Tesla is. But the main thing I'm concerned with is actually not that. The main thing I'm concerned with is analysts. It goes back to analysts. And when you hear analysts coming out and they're saying they're going to beat on all these metrics, they're going to, blow these earnings away, things like that. Well, the market starts pricing that into the stock price, okay? The market, unfortunately, is very much dictated by big money in analysts. And so if analysts and big money keep coming out and saying they're going to kill the earnings, they're going to beat the earnings, guess what? It starts being priced in the stock because everybody expects him to beat the earnings, right? And so that's why you see the stock just on a random day go up another 3%, which is, tens of billions of dollars of market capitalization just got added to that market cap literally in a day because an analyst comes out and says they're going to destroy earnings. And so therefore buy the stock because it's on its way to $1,000. That is my main worry about this company. I have 0% worries about this company from a perspective of the growth of the actual company. The revenue growth, Model 3 is going to continue to ramp bigger and bigger around the world. Model Y, we got Cybertruck coming in 2022, right? Imagine the numbers a company's going to put up over the next several years in regards to Cybertruck. A possible $20,000 something dollar, let's call it Model 2 down the road. So many things to be bullish on for this company. But at the end of the day, when I see analysts getting so far on the train, that worries me. That definitely worries me. I'm 0% worried about the underlying fundamentals of Tesla. I am worried about seeing things like this when I got all these bullish analysts. And honestly, it's gotten to the point now where you are very, very ridiculed if you're a negative Tesla stock nowadays. Let's be quite honest. Back in the day, it wasn't like that. You were applauded. You were given, attention from everybody if you were negative on Tesla stock, right? And it was frustrating. But now it seems like a little more of the opposite's happening. And if you're really, really positive on Tesla stock, you're getting a lot of attention. And if you're negative, they're kind of, you're almost, I think it's almost seen as like you can't be negative on this stock now. And so, you know, in terms of the actual stock price, if this baby does pump, they beat earnings, I'm a little worried, because at the end of the day, man, if everybody's bullish, who's left? You know, that's something to kind of to take into account there. Gordon Johnson, I don't even know what happened to that guy, man. He used to be bearish on the stock all the time. I'm almost hoping Gordon Johnson makes a comeback and starts talking some trash about Tesla now, man. I don't like all these Wall Street analysts and all these big bank analysts all of a sudden saying, oh yeah, buy Tesla stock, buy Tesla stock. They're going to beat all their numbers. Everything's good, right? I'm not with that vibe. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. As always, just so you know, we got a free 7 days in the private stock group going on right now. Check out pinned comment if you want access to that. We'll get you onboarded into the private group for 7 days. You can check it out, see if you like it. If you do, join us in there long term. If you don't, it's all good. Much love as always, guys, and have a great day.